Hi, this is A. Wesley with Straight Talk. If you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like my channel, please subscribe. The topic I'm going to talk to you today about is Teyana Taylor in her album, the way she wanted her album to be released and the way it was actually released. She did two interviews, one with Angie Martinez, promoting and talking about her album, and she was saying that the album didn't come out the way that she had recorded the album, and she was saying that she was not gonna blame Kanye or anybody for her album being the way it is, and stuff like that. But to me, in that interview, she was more politically correct. She was just trying to say everything right and do the right thing. But when I watched her on the Breakfast Club, that was a totally different interview. That interview, Charlemagne told her that her album sounded real good to him and everything, and I think he was just trying to sugarcoat the stuff. And so when he got to asking her husband, how did he like the album, and he said that he was in the meeting, while they were discussing songs to put on the album, and he said it was one song that he liked. He said he hoped they really put that on the album. And Teyana said the same song that her husband liked, she also liked that song too. And she also said that that song that she got about Three-Way, I guess Kanye, by him being the producers and other people, said that song probably wouldn't sell. Don't put that song, but like she said, she fought for that song to be on the album. And I've never really looked at her album or seen it on Spotify or anything like that. But I've watched other YouTubers talk about her album, and I've also seen the way some of the fans were saying that the album feel like it was rushed and it was unfinished, because they were saying before you can get to the end of the first song, the second song pops up, and it was like that on all of the things, on all of her whole album. And so by the fans being so upset about it, Teyana decided, I guess, to find out what the fans were talking about. And like she said, when she heard her album, it was something totally different than what she had did. And so she said when she was in talks with Kanye, she already knew that Kanye was gonna push out Pusha T's album first, and then she kept saying, when I'm gonna get in the studio, when I'm gonna get in the studio. And she said Kanye told her, well, my album gonna be next, and then we'll do your album. And to me, I think Kanye had so much going on with this beef with Drake and Pusha T, trying to push Pusha T's album to be #1. I mean, Pusha T albums did all right. Kanye West album did all right, but I think he kind of missed the boat with Teyana. I think he really didn't want to listen to Teyana, and like Angie Martinez ex Teyana. Is it okay for a producer or somebody to change your music once you record it? And Teyana said yes. She said if for some reason the producer or the record label think one record might sell better than the other record, then they have the right to go in and change it. And to me, that is wrong, because like she said on the Breakfast Club, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And the way she said her album was originally recorded, most of the songs on there were gonna sound good, even though her album was #1, and then it went to #2 when June's Diary released their album. A lot of people saying because it was unfinished, they really didn't like the album or didn't want the album. And it's a shame that a lot of people were thinking that when you have like a artist behind you, a well-known artist behind you, that your stuff is going to come out with quality works. Maybe it can and maybe it can't, but sometimes I think some of these artists are giving out too much credit to some of these well-known artists, and a lot of these well-known artists are not really owning the record labels or owning this. They're kind of like marketing people, and they're kind of like getting artists for the record label. And if it's like the record label don't want anything or doesn't want it right, Kanye can't overrule them. And so that's why he's telling her, some of the stuff that she wanted probably is gonna be in the videos and the visuals. But that's fine and dandy, but the girl has to sell the record, so she's trying to go out and promote this album the best way she can. Hopefully things will work out better for Teyana Taylor. I'm glad she got two two TV programs to work on, and that would kind of help her fuel her stuff. I mean, even though the Breakfast Club was trying to make her say something, she said that, you know, her and Janet are real good friends, and she won't comment on what her and Janet talked about after the Essence Fest. I don't know, a lot of people wanted her to get new management, and I don't know what's going to go on with that. But on another subject, I seen on Twitter last night where they said something about Tamar Braxton was trolling Vince Herbert, and she sent a lot of pictures of her where she had been working out, and she looked real good on those pictures. But to me, I thought her and Vince was getting divorced. I don't know if this is a rumor or what, but I did. But whoever posted it on Twitter did show the pictures of where her body looked real good and it was snatched and everything. But hopefully, I hope she's trying to move on without Vince, because all the turmoil she went through with Vince, I don't think she needs to go back through that anymore. And another thing, I saw an interview with Karen Huger from Real Housewives of Potomac, and she explained exactly what had went on. She said that she did have a foundation for Alzheimer's and dementia, and she said even though her mother had dementia, her mother didn't die from dementia. Her mother died from other stuff, and she was saying it was like right after her mama died, maybe 6 months later, her father died. But like she said, her father had full-time Alzheimer's, and she was saying that's why they had a big house with two big rooms in it, because one was for her mother, and when her mother passed, they moved her father in. And I know a lot of people try to take care of their elderly parents with dementia and Alzheimer's at their home because they don't want to put them in one of those places. And like she said, when you put them in one of those places, sometimes those places don't do your family member right to take care of them. And she also explained the subject of her husband's bankruptcy and taxes. She said she's not allowed to talk about certain things because of his lawyers, but she was saying it's like it's half her husband's fault. But I think what it is, I think her husband maybe knew some shady deals or some side stuff that was going on with that company, and maybe he wasn't allowed to do it, and that's why they're not fully just blaming her husband because he was a CEO and he probably wasn't like a president or a manager, but it was some stuff that was going on, like she said, she can't talk about. But like she said, she still does have her big house, and she still does have like a side house, and she's living in the side house. But like she was saying earlier, when they got married, she was just a spendthrift. And so Ray and her decided, well, they should separate their money because, you know, Ray was working, and at that time she was just more like of a housewife. But like she said, her daughter is still going to college, her son is graduated. But she was saying before her mama got Alzheimer's, when stuff was going on, and her mother told her the best way that she could help her husband was to help him out financially, you know, try to help pay off some of his little debts or whatever. And I was glad she explained the situation, because from the way they had rehearsed it on Potomac, it was like she was trying to say that she had a charity, but she was taking the money and putting it in her pocket for herself. But like she said, all of the people for the Alzheimer's charity was there, but she was saying it was something about you have to have some kind of 50 something in order for you to, I guess, say you have a charity or say you're donating for charity. So that's why most of the people were putting the money in her name, but she was also turning it over to the charity. That's why the people were there. So I don't know anything about nonprofit and charities, but I was glad that Karen Huger straightened up the story and stuff. And like she said, people don't know Giselle shady side, and she was saying she had already offered the other girl a time to go to her party. But and all in all, I liked everything that I saw today. This is Abe Wesley. I am out.